9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the WWT NXT post show. We're here to talk about everything that happened on this episode of NXT that went down tonight. Got a bit of a head scratcher of an ending. We'll get into that in just a little bit. We'll try to keep this, not too long and everything. We heard from our NXT champion to open up the show. Obafemi came out to let people know that the ruler is here. It is the era of the ruler. And we also had an interaction between him and the only man that has technically pinned Obafemi, the North American champion, Tony D'Angelo. We also got an interruption by Ridge Holland that set up a match between Ridge Holland and Tony D'Angelo for the NXT North American title next week. And as well, we had Eddie Thorpe, who has been a thorn in people's side. Again, don't know why we got to vacuum while I'm live, but for some reason, we have to vacuum near my door. So apologies if you hear that in the background. We had Eddie Thorpe come out and attack the champion from behind, wrapping his arm up, in something that seems to be like a strap. Maybe we get some kind of strap match. Not sure exactly what it was, but it did give Eddie Thorpe exactly what it was that he wanted after winning the #1 contendership in a Royal Rumble in Dade County, for a live show of NXT. And he is punching his ticket as we are going to get an NXT championship match against Obafemi and Eddie Thorpe next week as well. So we got 2 titles that are going to be on the line next week. Let's see, what else did we have going on for tonight? I just want to make sure I kind of get the order right of what was going on. But we had him in action. Then we had Stephanie McCurry versus Shotzi. Hard-hitting match. Glad to see Shotzi back in singles action and also doing her thing as far as in-ring work. I thought it was very well. I thought she was doing incredible in this match. Stephanie McCurry always doing her thing as well. But of course, the shenanigans were coming, and we had an interruption because this was a #1 contendership match for the women's North American title. We had some shenanigans from Fatal Influence. JC Jane with the distraction, Fallon Henley striking Stephanie McCurry in the back with the title and getting Shotzi the victory. Shotzi will go to face the champion in 2 weeks in the Atlanta show of NXT. And what does this do for Stephanie McCurry? I'm not sure. I am still hinting at possibly a triple threat match between them for the title in Atlanta. That is just me, but we shall have to see what's going to go on next week. As far as from what Bose is asking, I think Eddie Thorpe is a great challenge for Oba, but we already know what's going to happen, man. Oba's about to dog walk Eddie Thorpe next week. Like, it ain't finna be no thing. Like, he's about to dog walk that young man. No questions about it. Like, if anybody thinks this man got a chance, I don't know why. Because this man is about to do that man dirty with a capital T. We also had some backstage segments going on as well. We got to see Carmen Petrovich and Ashante Adonis finally, I guess, making it official. Going to be changing, I guess, the Facebook tags and everything, that they've made it official now as well. Saw some more interactions with the NXT champion. We saw some of the backstage fury with Stephanie McCurry. Some more stories developing between Sean Spears, and now trying to talk to Adriana Plaza, as well as Izzy Dame coming through to interfere. Hopefully we get a match in between those two next week. So again, a lot of storytelling coming through, a lot of stuff that is trying to open up as far as storytelling goes with other superstars. We also had some interactions with Charlie Dempsey, as well as the new Heritage Cup champion Lexis King, as well as an altercation with Ridge Holland and Tony D'Angelo backstage, which of course leading into that NXT North American Championship match. Now we also had two impromptu matches come through. Ethan Page versus Dante Chen. Dante Chen putting on an excellent performance, but Ethan Page picking up the victory and then stuffing Dante Chen's ankle into between the steel steps and the ring post, and then smashing and shattering Dante Chen's ankle. And in a fury of frustration, Javon Evans runs down to the ring, sewn mouth, jaw still wired shut, and trying to bring the fury to Ethan Page. One quick look, and he was down, blood coming out of his lip. But we know Vengeance is coming up February 15th, so I have no doubt that Javon Evans will probably be ready to go and trying to extract some vengeance from Ethan Page. We also had more backstage action, a majority of the women's locker room trying to, come to the aid of Kalani and just helping her understand what's going on, which led to a match between her and Cora Jade, which was also a good match. We had Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts champion, in the outside in the crowd, watching the match, looking at these two. Not sure what this is going to pertain to. I think both of those, though, are good prospects if you want a Slamovich match with the TNA Championship. Don't know if it's going to be on the line or anything like that, but I think that would be a good crossover that could be for Vengeance. Masha Slamovich either taking on Cora Jade or taking on Kalani Jordan. But she does have to get through Rosemary on the 19th, which is this weekend at TNA Genesis in Dallas, Texas. So great match. Shenanigans, well, not even shenanigans, but Cora Jade being Cora Jade, raked to the eyes, being able to pick up the win over Kaylani. Doesn't know what this is going to do for Kaylani mentally. I hope to keep on seeing the unraveling of her. Oh, excuse me. So we're gonna find out. But yeah, Javon Evans should be breaking the foot in that bus. So yes, he should, man. The Glotta, man. Glad to have you up in here as well. So we also briefly heard from Julia. She will be here next week. We also got to see a little clip of her, gaining the NXT the women's NXT championship, excuse me. We got to see that come. And then we also had the tag team championships on the line. But before the championship match, we got a surprise visit from DIY. DIY, the current tag team champions on SmackDown, was in the building to check out Fraxium. Something we thought was going to maybe lead to Fraxium losing the titles and going up to face them, but it looks like we may have champions now versus champions, because it was Fraxium versus OTM. It was a banger of a match. It definitely made OTM stock rise, but when all of the smoke was cleared, Fraxium came out as the victors. And so, again, congratulations to Fraxium as the NXT North American. I don't know why I keep worrying about the North American Championship for some reason. Coming out as the NXT champions. But I can also agree with King Mike Hall. I don't think that was the greatest move, but that is definitely something we can talk about on tomorrow's show live at 3 p.m. Make sure you tune into WWT Live. Now, we get back to the final segment, which is my client coming out to tell her future. What I thought would be her declaring herself for the Royal Rumble was very much interrupted by a disruptor who has just been going to everywhere and just wanting to be on TV. The role model, Bailey, lands on NXT, interrupting my client. And The two exchanged some words, but that's all we know. Because for some reason, not for some reason, CW decides that, oh, when it's 7 o'clock our time, oh, it's time to cut this off. And so we got an incomplete segment. Oh, see, I mowed through all of this because I didn't think the mayor was coming up here. So we go. That was the quick cap. Hold on.
Oh no, don't let me interrupt the parade. I was just confused because I got Bailey saying and Rock saying you're gonna be stuck here 1 minute. Welcome to the Family Feud. I said,
bro, mine was on tonight's news. I'm like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
Said, Hold on, let's Harvey, change. What the hell is going on?
Let me change this real quick. Here we go. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's get us right.
But no, if you brisk through it, that's cool. Because I came in at Kalani and Bubble Jacket. That's the match I came in on.
Okay. Yeah, Kalani and Bubble Jacket was the ones that were there. If we so just to, like I said, even to catch you up, we have now Eddie Thorpe at the beginning attacked the ruler. And now we have a match between the two of them that's going to happen next week. We also have Ridge Holland versus Tony D'Angelo next week as well. But the interesting thing was the interaction between Tony D'Angelo and Obafemi, which was hinting at title versus title.
And I hope we don't do that. One, because NXT has had some great moments over the past let's call it past decade now. Mm-hmm. I know Trick hinted at that during their feud, during the War of Words, like, hey, like, you're supposed to have your title, we're supposed to be going at it. Yeah, that would have been nice, but we don't need to see one person lock down both titles right now. I don't think anybody's deserving of that. I think Keith Lee is the only person with that accolade. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. I like the thought of it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it would, again, now it would drop the NXT North American championship down pegs because now it's being held like that. It's like, yo, I like that you're doing Ridge Holland versus Tony D'Angelo. Build that division up. Build it up.
Yeah.
Don't
plant the seeds though. Like, hey, I beat you already. So I don't believe it'll happen again. But like now he's planting the seeds that he has the credibility there. So
yeah, I think we see something.
What's interesting to me is just looking through the socials for the first hour and seeing what I saw. One, they didn't mention what happened with the women's division. They didn't have Julia on programming. Two, Trick put out a tweet like before the show saying, I got to figure out what my next move is. And WWE accounts retweeted that. So I thought he was going to have a segment like Roxanne, but he didn't.
No, but and then for Julia did say something, and it just hinted at, oh, she'll be here next week. So I don't know what that means. I was just like, but I do know that Lola Vice is the number one contender for the NXT championship, though. She won a battle royal, I believe, at in the Dade County live showing, and now she is the number one contender. So I think we will maybe get to see that interaction happen, but I kind of like it just because of the pace that they are kind of setting up. They gave us a lot of women's matches this week, but they also prepared us for a lot of storytelling too that'll go on for the other half of what's going on in NXT. Because like next week, 2 titles are on the line. You have Julia returning, which I know we're going to get her and a Lola Vice segment. But not only that, we have them defending it at the Atlanta taping on the 28th. And I'm very curious for you, Mayor, because what happens when your other client comes back and costs her another title? Because I noticed she did not accompany OTM tonight during their tag matches. She's been off TV.
You know what's crazy? She was on the OTM graphic for the tag team match against Fraxium too.
Yep, but did not come out.
Yep, that lick back is coming. So, you know, and this is the beautiful thing about NXT is that you can have these storylines away from the main title. But I think what we're accomplishing with Lola that I love is that we're letting the audience know that we view you in this way still. Mm-hmm. You were the breakout contract winner. You had a title match. Like we still view you in this light. We're just taking a long route there. So it's like, even as she's number one contender right now, it's like saying like, hey, we can still get you in here. We're just taking a long route, letting you do the side mission. So I'm happy about that. But I mean, there's no way in hell Jada don't interfere in that match. And if Julia beat Lola clean, I can't show my face around here for a while.
Nah. That's why Jada got to do it. But I don't think she's gonna win clean just because of the video I saw earlier on the CW. It was like so they was like, what's your 2024 goals? And here's Lola. Like, I don't know who decided to turn the fan on, but she just Beyonce out and hair is flying. I'm like, oh yeah, she next. Yeah, she next. I was like, I don't know what it was about seeing that, but I was like, oh yeah, no, y'all, this is her. Yeah, she next.
And it's like the way they used to promote Mandy so heavily. It's like I think they can do that same thing with Lola. It'll feel a little bit different because I think the in-ring work is catching up. But I guess just from tuning people in, stuff like that, I think you'll still have it. And the division is so deep, man. There's so many great matches you can run in the women's division right now.
Yeah, that's something I was talking about with them. Hold on, what is that? I got to show you this. If this ain't some Beyonce shit right here, y'all like, yo, she the champ. Yo. She going to be the champ after Julia.
Who turned the fan on medium?
Yeah, that's what's like. And no one else had that.
In the back?
It was just, I was like, oh, okay. I see what you're doing. But
you're building it. Hickenbottom been getting my emails.
Oh yeah, he must have. He must have been getting your baskets too, and letting them know, like, hey. But I said this earlier though, and I used her and Jada as an example. I was like, these are the things that they got to keep working, like what we saw tonight, and then what we're telling with these stories, especially if Jada does interfere in the match. Like, we need them to have these solid, memorable rivalries, like we got to see tonight with like Kalani and Cora Jade, because this is kind of like that class, like an NBA that had like LeBron, Carmelo, and all of them in one group. When all of them go up, you need to have these strong rivalries that have happened, because that's gonna be like when, and not to say it in a negative way, but when the main roster starts to want to push back a little bit in the women's division, you're gonna see like, okay, listen, we saw this rivalry between Lola and Jada. We gotta run this on Raw. We gotta bring this on Raw, and it gives them a chance to get just a tad bit more comfortable on the main roster, working with folks they know, as well as getting a chance to work with superstars that they've looked up to. Mm-hmm. But they got to keep these solid.
That was that segment that we got interrupted. That was Roxanne saying like, "Hey, before we used to need the four horsewoman, now all you needed was me," and that was literally her moment to say like, "Oh, y'all think y'all got the best division? Hey, let's come test that real quick." And I don't know what that means for Bayley and Tiffany, but I mean, and I don't know why Bayley was the person they chose. Like, you was just in the Bay Area last night, and you went to Orlando. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know why she's working like this double duty type thing. But at first, when I saw Roxanne was coming out, I thought the dope thing would have been to do was like, yo, it'd be dope if she was the first NXT superstar to declare herself for the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. Like, that would have been dope for her to announce. Like, especially when she say, y'all don't deserve me, so I am declaring myself as an entrant. I'm like, oh yeah, she owned it. But it's like the Bayley, and you know what?
We don't actually. You know what? We don't know that she didn't either.
That's true. Well, no. So Boza let me know exactly what happened. Apparently, Roxanne slapped Bayley. Bayley scored a double leg takedown, and that was it. And nothing else.
So not a declare. So you might have a moment with them in the Royal Rumble. Would it be nice for Rox outside of actually winning? And I don't know. I think they're high on Rox backstage, and we've seen it with Bianca. But like, she got to be. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. We know Bianca has to get her win against all four horsewomen. I think the only one she hasn't got a win against is Charlotte. What if Rox is the one to retire each of the four?
Retire who?
4 horsewomen during different parts of her main roster career. She's the one that was the final match for each of the 4.
Ooh. Becky, I could see. Bailey, I could see. I don't know if Charlotte would do that. Charlotte is the only one I could see wanting someone else to take her out for the retirement match. But Becky and Bailey, I could definitely see them putting their investment in and ending it like that. But what it also makes me lead to is something Bose has been pitching out. This would not be a bad start to Evolution 2.
We long overdue for it too, and I think when I started thinking about Evolution 2, as soon as I saw Nikki Bella last week, I was like, oh, you cool again now. We can do one of them spectacle matches that once in a lifetime matches real quick of the old generation versus the now.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I know we sometimes jump ahead with this stuff, so that's why I'm like, okay,
we can do it because I mean,
it can be done.
It would be better. Oh my God, if they do an Evolution 2, I would love to see it bookended Survivor Series weekend, and you get a traditional 5-on-5 match, and you can have Nikki, you can have Mickie James, you can have Trish. And Michelle McCool, and hell, you can find one other, and then against this new wave.
Ooh. But you saying that they would have to go against the original horsewomen.
If
you're looking at tiers, because that's what I'm saying. If you're looking at tiers, though, I would say horsewomen versus the new generation, because like the Tish and all of them, like. That definitely is the Becky, Bailey, Charlotte, and Sasha. And man, you know what? I'm throwing it Bianca Belair.
Yeah, it's a damn shame we ain't gonna never get that Trish Mercedes match that they teased at the Royal Rumble,
bro. That's
a damn shame.
I hate that we're not gonna get it either. But we also had Masha Slamovich out during Cora Jade and Kalani's match. Now I know she defends her title against Rosemary this Sunday at Genesis, but I want to get your thoughts on it. As far as those two competitors, does that seem like the right move for this TNA partnership of those maybe the next two opponents that could possibly be trying to go for her title?
You talking about Kalani or Cora?
Or Cora, yeah.
I think that'd be a nice obstacle for Cora to try to obtain. It'll give NXT some face time with a recognizable star going over to the TNA brand. And Cora was very vocal about, hey, I'm going to get a championship before you, Kalani, before you get another one. So I think we're slow burning it until Kalani, like the whole I'm not the same girl thing. We are very close to do it like Lonnie. With the mellow attitude, we are very close now.
All y'all keep saying that, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know.
There. I hope she have reverse Nike checks on her logo with shirts that say "Do it like Lonnie." Like
that'd be hard.
I hope she has something like that because we're close. And I think she's playing the happy to be here, nice girl that doesn't want to be called the nice girl very well right now, and it's just gonna flip one day. Yeah, and I think it's gonna flip on like either Soul or Zarya, just based on that backstage interaction. Zarya would be nice just because she like the new big body in town. It's like, you know what? Nah, you think you better than me.
also too though, I do want to ask you this though, because maybe it's just me. I feel like Zarya is kind of losing some of her aggressive luster with these segments in the back. Like, I am glad you can talk. I'm glad that you got a chance to be on the mic. But I was like under the impression of these women supposed to be scared of you when you walk in.
Yeah. I saw like I don't know if it was like a montage of her, like how long it takes her to do her hair. And I'm like, oh, nah, I thought you was Brock. We not Brock.
We're not Brock. Nah, we not for some
and maybe they're doing that because there's so much attention with Stephanie and Julia right now that they just had to take a step back. It's not enough time.
Yeah, no, I saw that when, again, we talked about that when Julia won the Iron Survivor match. Like we got through with the side mission and we're back on the main story and everything. And then speaking of which, of even that, we go back to the number one contendership match for the North American women's title. Shotzi versus Stephanie Bakura. Now, Shotzi, I said, did an incredible match. Ring work has increased tremendously, but what we had a number one contender. Why are we having a match?
Just because Shotzi pinned Fallon last week, but why is Stephanie losing her opportunity that she actually won a week ago? I don't know. I feel like if you was just going to disregard Stephanie like that, you could have had one of the other three women in that match win.
So I'm sitting on a triple threat in Atlanta is what I'm sitting on. I'm thinking, because I didn't see it today. I didn't see them announce it today, but I'm like, okay, we still got 2 weeks. So I could see next week due to fact, because Fallon Henley struck her with a belt to cause her. And then again, too, though, that's her first L in singles competition as well at NXT. So now it kind of takes that luster of like having remained undefeated, which is a good thing. We saw her bring out some new stuff too in this match, but if we don't get a triple threat match between these three, then this don't make sense. And it's just like, yo, then that number one contendership meant nothing.
Yeah, and I think they'll do the triple threat like you're saying, just because they'll continue to protect Stephanie from a clean loss, and maybe Shotzi takes the pin there. But I think it makes sense because I don't think they want to. I think I want to keep Fallon and Fatal Influence looking strong going forward.
Yeah. I was just talking about it too, because not that Fallon Henley hasn't been a strong champion. And I was like, maybe you could help answer this a little bit better, because I didn't want to call her like a transitional champion or a paper champion. I didn't want to say that, but it does kind of feel like her championship reign right now reminds me of like Finn Balor as the tag team champions.
Yeah. And that's not a bad thing, just because Kalani introduced the championship and defended it so much and made it a staple. And she was the upstart and the babyface. Fallon was the people's choice to win the title in the first place. So
yeah,
I think we'll get there with Fallon. Her in-ring work is really good, but I think we're doing something where it's like, hey, we're building up credible challengers for her.
Yeah. And I noticed that with when we were at New Year's Evil and they had that 6-woman tag match, I was like, yo, none of them could keep up with Fallon. And I was seeing it. I was like, nah, Fallon move-wise got it. Like, like
she's running back Kalani. Like,
nah.
And it's too soon for Stephanie, really. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. That's why I was like, I hope it's a triple threat match, because then, like you said, Shotzi can take the pin and we have that sort of a run. But I think this will be a time where we see Fallon Henley step it up.
Yeah, fans of NXT in the chat at the women's division, like, quiet is kept. Best performers on that brand: Fallon Henley, Tatum Paxley.
Yeah, Tatum Paxley be putting on the show. She be putting on the show. So we go see what's gonna happen with that one. I'm hoping triple threat, just so we don't waste anything. We also we saw a tweet for Trick Williams talking about that he has to figure out what he's going to do next.
So let's play the same game here. Let's say they give Trick this exact same FaceTime Roxanne got tonight. Who from the main roster approaches Trick in that same way that Bayley approached Roxanne?
Booker T.
Booker T? You just walk from around the booth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just walk from around the booth. Come do your thing. All because after I saw that Zello match he had, I'm like, Book still got it. Like,
yeah, you do.
But to be honest, we most likely would get that in Royal Rumble. That would be in more Royal Rumble. Match wise, if we're doing the Roxanne Bayley thing, oh shit, man, I don't know. That's currently on the roster.
Oh, I would have to think it has to be a former former NXT champion, and that's where it gets tough.
Well, no, actually, I was gonna even maybe say The Miz.
Interesting.
The Miz
That
could be
he's
very
away from Final Testament.
Mm-hmm. Especially after the Sami Zayn loss. I could see that. I could see The Miz and Trick Williams on NXT. Is that
Maybe
my
maybe LA Knight can come give him like a promo rub. I can see that.
I can see that.
You know who I would like if you talking about former NXT champions. We got to get Glorious one time. One time.
Man, listen. Yo.
Just to put Trick over and let him know his journey's not finished.
No, but now that you say that, though, Nick Nemeth wouldn't be bad either.
Oh,
Nick Nemeth.
That's a former NXT World Champion, and you're doing TNA partnership thing.
Yeah, that would be something really interesting to look at as a side mission for Trick Williams. Nick Nemeth, title or no title,
and that's somebody who can, help him in the ring. Yeah.
That's it right there. Nick Nemeth. If Trick get anything, he need Nick Nemeth there. I could definitely see that. Now we gotta talk about the backstage shenanigans.
Which one?
We got Carmen.
Okay, you talking about that one.
We got Carmen Petrovich and Ashante Adonis. I guess making the Vanilla Swirl thing official. I want to know though, like, in your opinion, what does this do for both superstars though, as far as their careers go? Like, how does this play out?
So it does nothing for Carmen Petrovich. Nothing, but it makes Ashante kind of like NXT's version of Dominic Mysterio, except without the hatred and the booze. So like you see, like he's the playboy. He's trying to talk to every woman on the roster in his site. So that's his character, the lover boy. He even dresses like Shawn Michaels in ring. So I think it helps develop his character a little bit further. For Carmen, I don't know what it does, but I think the reason that they made it official today, January 14th, is because a month from now, February 14th, on Valentine's Day, you're going to have the breakup angle. It's going to completely fall off the wheels on that day.
You know what? We get Carmen versus Nikki at Vengeance Day. Because it's the 15th. Yep. That's what that's leading to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I mean, you got your A story, your B story, and then you got your.
They get in TV time.
I can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. Yeah. Shawn Spears.
I like that. I like that he's trying to slowly go like, hey, these women wrestlers can use my help too. You don't really got the faction yet, but he's been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's like eventually somebody's going to take the bait. Somebody's going to bite. And it might not be it might not be Izzy. Izzy says she doesn't need the help. Rizzo is with the family. But damn, what's the Kurt Angle girl, the mini Kurt Angle that be doing the super?
Thea Hale.
No.
Oh, Ivy now?
She's newer than this. She's newer than that.
Oh shit. Hold on.
I can't think of her name. But like that would be somebody who can use the boost from Shawn Spears and give him like 4 or 5 superstars to groom. Like Chase U is no more. We can run this back.
Yeah.
We can run this back with Shawn Spears being the teacher.
Now that we say that, Thea Hale would make all the sense in the world.
That's true.
Needs
another mentor.
Yeah, especially watching Andre Chase just defeated in that segment. Man, Ethan Page came in the locker room and Andre he just in the back, just defeated. I was like, yo, that's good promo work right there for you, sir. That was great promo work. But another person I can see too, I don't think no one would see coming for Shawn Spears, and I think it would be a good elevation for that movement. Kaylani. Imagine he's the one that brings out Do It Like Lonnie.
That would be his biggest star too. If you see her, man, that's what need a damn bubble jacket right there. Give Kaylani some dark shades and a bubble jacket, and let's turn this shit up real quick.
I can see the bubble jacket. and some Timbs.
Yeah, man.
Oh man! But then we also
when Lonnie kick, watch. If they really want to do this the long way, let Lonnie take over Fatal Influence and be the face of that faction. Like, I don't know who she kicking out. Maybe she kicking out Fallon or JC Jane. I don't know. Like,
it had to be Fallon. It had to be Fallon. Fallon would have to go. She'd have to take out Fallon for that to happen because Jasmine gonna follow JC, and JC don't know how to take the reins as a leader. And that's what I be seeing with JC. So JC do better as number 2. So I could definitely see that. That's what I like about seeing a lot of this stuff too. And, I was calling this episode Ladies Night because it was just like everything was more of just like the women. And it was incredible. What other backstage shenanigans they had? I think that was it. Oh, well, I do want to touch on this. Your thoughts on Corey Graves not being here tonight?
Oh man, we was talking about that in the chat, and I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know what to believe. That like I'm not going to say it's a part of a storyline or if he's like really disgruntled. There are people saying like, oh, it's probably a bad look given some things he said on commentary in the past. I'm like, well, nah, in the past, I think he was just being a character. He's a heel commentator. Now, could he feel a little slighted about not being on the Netflix premiere because you're just bringing Pat McAfee back? Like, sure. I also don't think that, how do I want to say this? I think when you're employed by a company like the WWE or TKO, your social media is not necessarily yours. Like you can't just go out there and really just say what you want. You can't just let it fly, you know?
Yeah.
And I think he's smart enough at this stage of his career, being there for so many years, to just let it fly. Now, why I say that's a work or not, I don't know if the man's cleared. I don't know what. It can be going into business for yourself. But I do think the shot was aimed at Pat McAfee. And I do think it'd be smart to like do something there. Whether it be a war of words or if it be like a rumble spot. Because there's no way that you're going to be in Indianapolis and Pat McAfee's not going to be something with the Royal Rumble. He's an Indianapolis Colt. So
exactly.
I don't know. You can build something off of it. I will say that. If it's real, they can make money off of it.
Yeah.
Think about how good Pat and Adam Cole was. Like that was great. And we thought it was real.
Nah, it'd be great. It'd be great to see. And I think even like you said, if he's cleared and we get a match with it, I think that would be dope. But if it's real too, like I had said a little earlier, I get how you feel about it. But now also too, you need to hold the mirror up at yourself and let's have a seat. Let's talk about this. Can you really convince yourself that you're bigger than Pat McAfee?
Bigger, no. Better at the role, yes. Wasn't there a period of time where Booker T and Corey Graves couldn't work together?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It was a disagreement to where like Book didn't like him, so Book didn't necessarily fully, like how they do the back and forth and stuff. He wouldn't sell it all the time and every time. But Corey didn't really give a shit. So like Corey would just keep going. But it was just one of those kind of like, I think it became like a misunderstanding of something he said during the podcast. And I think Booker kind of took offense to it. So it just became kind of became that thing. But like even Book is cleared it up. Like they don't have no issues with one another. And so I think the biggest thing is just why I could say it's a work. And even if it's not a work, it's one of those things of if you're upset, you of all people shouldn't be upset because you know how this business goes. Like although you're better at the job than Pat McAfee brings in a wider audience than you do. He has ESPN, he has college football, he has all of these other outlets that has the WWE being shown to other audiences to broaden this place. And if we are being honest, although you're better at the job than him, the partnership between you and Michael Cole and him and Michael Cole, their dynamic is better. And we just gonna throw that, and we're just gonna be real about that. Those are better.
Just producing social media content now.
Yeah, like it just is what it is. And to be honest with you, Corey, I haven't seen you with a pairing where the dynamic was as sparks as Pat McAfee. Like again, this man resurrected Michael Cole. We remember sometimes when Michael Cole was on commentary, like, dang, this dude do not want to be here no more. And it showed. This man has revitalized that dude. I have not seen you really do that. You are incredible at your job, and that's the other thing why I don't know if it's real and you're taking it as an insult. I also see it as they can depend on you to elevate a commentary table. So why not send you to the place that is in right? Okay. What happened?
Was that me?
No, I think that was both of us.
Okay.
I think to be able to trust you to go down there for an elevated brand and be a part of it, because you are incredible at your job. And I just know you being there also makes this more credible as well. It's the same thing of like Mike Rome being there as the announcer. Yes, Mike Rome definitely has done the chops to be on SmackDown, to be on Raw. But that doesn't take nothing away that he's at NXT, especially in a place where you finna see the next generation of superstars is gonna carry this entire brand.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it. Like you are well for your feelings. If that's how you feel, definitely understand. But also big picture, what we doing? Because if you really want to go toe to toe for this, come on, Corey. That's like Johnny Gargano getting mad that he ain't in the main event and Cody Rhodes is there. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. What we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what this is. And you signed up for the job. And to be honest, too, at least you're not fucking Byron Saxton. That man was on commentary, and now he in the back doing interviews. And we barely see Byron Saxton on TV. And you're still a consistent voice throughout the week. So that's why I can't agree with the fact of like, oh, he been done dirty or nothing like that. No, bro, like, yo, you're still on TV. You're still commentating.
That's true. It's very true.
And if you don't want it, by all means, quit. So that way NXT Bonafide can get in. Go ahead and open up a space. If you don't want it, cool. Because there are plenty of other people that are ready to become legends.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, I get it, I understand it, but hey, you just got to look at it what it is. This is a popularity contest. This ain't no, it's like, yo, we got to go with what makes money. And those two, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole together, are money. Yep. No matter what. We could not wait for his return on Netflix. And we just need those two. I'm sorry, Corey. I was like, I get it. I understand it. But that's a dynamic duo. That was like when what's his face? Bobby the Brain Heenan was there with Jim Ross and King. It's like, all right, Bobby, we get it, but we want to hit them too. We want to hit them too.
You had your time.
Yeah. It's okay. But I want to talk about this tag team title match. Fraxium versus OTM. And we had the WWE Tag Team Champions DIY out watching this match and particularly watching Fraxium. Dust settled, epic match. Definitely, like I said, raised OTM stock a lot. Makes me want to see them more on television. I got a lot of shades of like AOP from them when they were in the ring. Okay. Yeah, so I just think like a little bit more like TV time and more matches, you really could see them mold themselves into a on-air tag team that could be a champion.
Yeah, because I didn't believe they had a shot at winning tonight at all. I was surprised how much they were pretty much milking like how confident they were. I'm like, all right, we barely see these guys do anything on television, so why would I believe that their time is now? But DIY showing up in an episode like today where we're seeing a lot of anointing, if you would. So maybe that was like DIY showing up was like the way of saying like, hey, nah, Fraxium is really like that. That we are taking notice of them. 2 NXT legends are taking notice of this tag team because there has been some Fraxium fatigue.
Yeah.
100% Fraxium fatigue. They're putting on great matches. The whole dissension has been teased, but it's like it hasn't happened. So that Fraxium fatigue is like really heavy right now. Do I think that it would be very beneath DIY to come down and challenge for NXT titles just to not win them?
Yeah.
So I don't think they would be the tag team to come down and do it, but maybe that's just something that opens the door for a tag team that's not being used right now. I don't know why Wild and Cruz del Toro haven't been on SmackDown in a minute. Same thing like with Los Garza. Let's make them a legitimate tag team because they're putting on good matches on SmackDown. But I think that's what it's going to take to really not disband Fraxium, but like make them take a step back.
Yeah. I think they definitely need to have a little time off of here just to do some stuff and let that tag team division grow. Let me see who, because like right now, all of them are still just kind of in that pool. They're right here. No one has really just popped themselves up to go, yes, I want to see them with the belts, and I want to see what they gonna do with this tag team division. No one's gotten there yet.
It's a reminder. This is your fault, Hickenbottom, because you wanted to do a betrayal angle when you could have made MSK 3-time NXT tag team champions. And you know what was crazy? You could have freebird that damn belt. You could have freebirded. You could have had Trey, Zach, and Wes doing the New Day thing in NXT for months. It wouldn't have been tired of it.
Here's the thing,
Route Orlando.
But here's the thing: I don't necessarily blame Hickenbottom. All the way. I blame Wes for his confidence that he could pull that off.
2 matches, right? Two matches between Zach and Wes. Never heard of it again. Basically, it's the same thing that happened with Gigi and JC.
Exactly, because it wasn't good. It wasn't good. JC and Gigi's was different just because of they wanted to definitely close that whole door because of the stench that they created into with Mandy Rose and letting her go. So I get why it's like, okay, you know what? We keep having them harp back on that too, and we can't show this without showing them as a part of Toxic Attraction and Mandy there. So it's like, we'll close that out. But this and Wes, it's just like, I'm never going to believe Wes as a heel. And Wes didn't give me anything of what a heel should give me. It was just, you're not on my level. It's like, what the fuck was that? Like this, like Zach is giving you like, I'm hurt and you're not. Like this, like what the fuck is this? What's going on?
So much that we had to just completely forget. And it put the tag team division in a bad spot because everybody's so young as far as like TV time. And it's like, I don't know where Gallus is, but we're not going to put Hank and Tank in there. Now we got Briggs back overseas. I forget what his tag team partner from Japan. Yeah. I don't think that's going to get it because why isn't Briggs competing in the world title picture after the good matches he's had last year? It's like, what are we doing?
Well, I know that the next one's up for a championship title match with the.
I don't believe them. So if we don't just, I don't know what's going on. If we don't just bring the Good Brothers back and just give them damn titles for a couple months,
I was okay with Gallus having it. I think Gallus would give you some hard hitting matches and everything, but I just don't know if they're outside of the match wise personality ready. And I think that and the thing is, it's like it's kind of like the men's division. Like you need to have more regular tag team matches that don't involve Fraxium so we can get behind. Because as much as people are behind Hank and Tank needs an awesome heel tag team to overcome.
Yeah, so, to make them believable. They're literally heavy machinery.
Exactly. That's it. They just that's the heavy machinery 2.0. But they would need somebody like the Good Brothers as heel Good Brothers tag team champions to beat them to have an amazing story as to why they would be champions. But they're not the ones next in line to take it off of Fraxian, because then again, it just doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was just favorable tag teams and they happen to have the belts, but it's like, okay, it seems like anybody really can beat you. It's just a fun thing right now. And it's just like, so we got to have the tag teams be able to boost up. And like you said, I think we just burnt out with Fraxian and need a break. But who we didn't need a break from, which I'm going to say this one was match of the night for me, which was another number one contenders match for the women's tag team championships between Unholy Union and the Metaphor Girls. And man, outstanding performance. It went back and forth. We did not know who was going to walk out the victor. At one point, I thought Unholy Union had it. One point, I thought the Meta Girls have it. It was bouncing back and forth. But when the smoke cleared, the Metaphor Girls are now the number one contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions and will go up against the Big Three. Now, I want to know this from you, Mayor. Thoughts on them winning, and where does this title match take place? Does the Big Three come to NXT, or do the Meta Girls go up for the match?
The thing about the titles is that they can travel to all three brands. This match needs to take place at the Royal Rumble. It has to take place at the Royal Rumble because this is the Meta Girls' second time at a title shot against the Big Three. But the wrinkle here is that it's Bianca and Naomi, not Bianca and Jade. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually got the W here to push some dissension and lead us into that whodunit storyline with Jade. Because the Rumble, surprises happen. Jade was a big surprise last year. Imagine if Jade's a big surprise again this year and she's back and she's gunning for one of them in the Rumble after the titles are lost, and you kind of be like, oh, damn, Bianca did it, or oh, damn, Naomi did it.
Now, what's crazy as you say that, I could definitely see Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble. If they lose them titles, that changes
Rhea.
And then that's how you separate if it is, but that's solely based off of if Naomi did it. Because now you do have that breakup, but now you have a reason to detach Bianca. Whoo! Bose, I'm not mad at this though. So this is the most difficult Royal Rumble to predict.
I think you got to get Bianca and Rhea over with at some point. That's the one. Yeah.
This is I think the only way to do it is by this way. Because outside of a legend, Rhea don't have nobody to face. And because y'all did that Nia Jax Bailey segment, you proved that. So who's left? Because I don't want to see Charlotte and Rhea part 2 again this quick.
And the storyline's already there as far as them being the two biggest threats outside of the horsewomen, and Bianca's undefeated at WrestleMania.
Yep. And I could definitely see Rhea having a short run with this world championship. That I could see her losing to Bianca and Bianca becoming the women's world champion. And then that sets you up with everything else. Unless she goes, nah, because you don't want to crash. You don't want to crash Tiffy time like that. Nah.
And we need to put some respect on the Unholy Union, man. They need to go back, like whatever the hell Blair Davenport is not doing.
I would just
put her
say,
back in the group.
I just said that during the match. I'm like, where is she? Where is she?
Like that, it's perfect. It's perfect. Just run with it.
I'm like, yo, why is this not happening? I also said, put some respect on Alba Fire, too. I was like, yo, I know she changed her name from Kaylee Ray, but I'm like, bro, she was that woman in NXT UK. Mm-hmm. Like, she was a problem. I was like, yo, like you said, put some respect on the Unholy Union, man. And I definitely did with this match. I was like, yo, I know they lost, but y'all all walked away as champions. All of y'all. Bianca could get it through the women's elimination chamber. The championship or number one contendership? Because if I'm being honest, I don't think no world title should be on the line in the elimination chamber anymore. Especially with it being to the road to WrestleMania. I think it should either be mid-card titles. I also think, but they ain't boosted it up yet, I would have loved to have seen a tag team elimination chamber match.
I feel like they've done that once.
Have they done it?
I think they've done it once before.
Have they done it?
Once before. So I feel like the New Day was in one.
Gotta be, right? Yeah, it was in 2020. It was in 2020. It was Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, Heavy Machinery, New Day, and then the champions were Miz and Johnny Nitro, Usos, and then Dragon Lee and Lucha Party. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
I remember the Lucha Party. That's a deep cut. Because I remember they did the spot where he climbed to the center of the thing and did the dive.
Oh yeah, I can see. I wouldn't mind those though. Like as much as I like the world titles being defended, I just don't want something happening messed up that leads to Royal Rumble changing.
Yeah,
I mean not a Royal Rumble, WrestleMania changing.
And then elimination chambers in Vancouver. Yeah, you can give somebody a moment there if you did a quick title switch. I don't know. Let's see.
I ain't gonna lie too. That's also where Sammy could punch his ticket as number one contender if he don't win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because he didn't get his moment in Canada against Roman. And
I ain't gonna lie. Ever since you said that, that's been on my mind since yesterday. I've been sitting here just him versus Cody really fucking works at WrestleMania.
Because it was literally what Seth says. Like, when are you going to start doing some stuff for you? And it's like, damn. The gears start turning. He going to see Kevin doing some stuff for him. It's like, damn, I have been helping all these people out this whole time. Ain't nobody helping me out.
Dang, seeing and that even still work because I know it, I don't think it's going to happen, but like if Kevin wins, it still lead to Sammy and Kevin at WrestleMania. Shit, is Sami Zayn really gonna be in the main event of WrestleMania again?
I think it sells a great like underdogs. Well, I know you hate the underdog stuff, but that's literally what it is. It's like you want to see Sammy overcome the odds and become a world champion.
This a different odd though, like especially if he's approaching it to where it's not like I'm gonna do my best. If he come like, yo, nah, I'm that dude, and I'm sick of people thinking I'm not. Like the whole, like you said, the Kalani route, we can see something there. But if you do that whole like I could beat you, Gunther, like you did last year, I'm like, nah, we missed it. We missed it. This was a chance for you to switch that character up just a tad bit, and we dropped the ball.
Yeah, we'll have predictions and stuff like that in another week. That'll be fun because you can go any route with the men's. You can go so many ways. The women's is truly unpredictable.
Yeah, I don't know who gonna win that. I don't know who gonna win that women's Royal Rumble. That's. Ooh, this just remind you now, kind of Money in the Bank a little bit. Like this definitely got to be for that new person, like you said. But we gonna see though. But overall though, how do you feel about this NXT? We had an epic New Year's Eve where we saw so much change, kind of like how we saw Raw first on Netflix. How we said how Raw was different this Monday. How are you feeling about this Tuesday's NXT?
I think just a gradual step from last week. You really can't outdo last week. You ended the show with The Rock. So, I mean, they took their steps and said, like, let's get back to some programming, some matches, lay some foundation down. And I think next week's episode, you'll start seeing more of these storylines start to flourish. I think having number one contenders for the women's tag team titles are huge because that allows us to think like, hey, Bianca and Naomi are going to come here, but maybe they don't. But you still have those promos you can get. You'll get Julia next week. You'll get Oba and Eddie Thorpe. So you're already moving forward with that. And we still need to hear from Trick. So I think they have a lot of ways they can go, which is what they needed. They needed to put a different taste in the NXT audience's mouth after seeing The Rock. Because you got to get away from that. You got to be like, hey, that was one and done.
Yeah.
One and done. Ain't happening no more.
Nah.
Fed, don't think about it again. Like,
he was like, look, he was like, look, councilman, I did this for you. I ain't coming back here. That's fine. That's cool. I understand. I just said I need you in 2025. You did that for me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening to your counsel.
And then with the men's division, I think you'll start to see more balance. I think that message is loud and clear, especially when you see this like psychotic Ethan Page. Like, you're going to have more storylines that people care about outside of the world title, which really bodes well for Oba, because Oba is going to be like, hey, anybody can get it. Just run up. Like,
yeah. I said too, I would not mind seeing Oba versus Moose at Stand and Deliver. I think that would be hard, or even him versus Nick Nemeth or a Joe Hendry match. I don't know, but Joe Hendry.
I think that's the way to go. If you're really gonna pull the trigger on like, hey, the ruler needs to be overthrown, like that's.
But so soon.
Because he was internally called up anyway, and they said like, nah, we got some house money here.
Yeah, because it's like there's a lot of stamps like Oba could do. Like Oba's in the perfect spot to do like how Kevin Owens did. Like Oba could show up on Raw, take on somebody, and show you like, yo, I'm the ruler. Like, nah, fuck what y'all heard. You wait till I get up here. Y'all all in trouble.
Carrying the NXT title, wrestling on Monday Night Raw. I think Melo might have done that too. But like I hope that's the vision for him. And I hope he's like, hey man, my challengers down here ain't on my level. I'm gonna go on Monday Night Raw, I'm gonna go to SmackDown, and I'm gonna put this title on the line.
SmackDown may be the easier joint too, because I can see him going up against Melo. I can see him going up against LA Knight. Him versus Solo. Ooh.
Book it. NXT Open Challenge. Any brand.
Yeah. Him versus Jacob.
Man, you can do some damage here.
We can do that. The ruler versus the werewolf. But that's why I'm glad they kept him there, because you have a lot of stake that you could do with him as NXT champion right now. And especially because he doesn't have a crazy amount of like contenders at this time. That's why you run that. Like, yo, no, this dude really runs NXT. Because if Tony D'Angelo is the only one that had to come out and say, oh, and then said it wrong. He was like, it's 2 me, 1 Oba. I'm like, oh, so you don't remember when this nigga whooped your ass and you sat here like reevaluating your whole life? You're not gonna count that asterisk? I was like, bro, y'all are tied. Let's not do that. You are not ahead of him. Oba whooped your ass. You almost gave up your whole family and moved to Arkansas. Don't act like that didn't happen. So, but we got a lot to look forward to next week. 2 titles on the line, more number 1 contendership matches. We got, like I said, we got a lot of great storytelling that's going on in NXT, and I am just looking forward to seeing how it develops. It looks like Atlanta is looking to be a very huge show for not only just NXT, but Monday Night Raw as well. So, I'm very curious to see what Atlanta's going to be about in 2 weeks, because they're really pushing these shows.
Big week. That's going to be a big week.
And that's the week. That's the Royal Rumble week. As a matter of fact, I forgot those are the last shows before the Royal Rumble. Ooh, so yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a very interesting time. So, but we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the NXT post show. Appreciate the mayor jumping in with me on the post show to go over this. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Not sure if the mayor will be there, but because TK got to definitely clear these checks. But the checks have been cleared for Friday. And we will be there Friday for we won't be doing a normal WWT live. We will be doing the Shield debate. Who are the best Shield members? We're going to be ranking them from 1 to 4, because Kurt Angle is also included in this. How can fuck would nobody say? Kurt Angle will be discussed. in the Shield debate because he is a Shield member, no matter what y'all say.
If that's the case, we gotta throw Triple H in there too.
I mean, hey, Triple H will get honorary mention because that ain't gonna be fair to none of them. And then we also have a very special WWT live that's gonna be coming up. I'm not gonna announce it. I'm definitely gonna leave that to the mayor because he has set up something very incredible that's coming up that you do not want to miss. So believe me when I tell y'all.
I forgot. Yeah, I was like, when did we go? I was like, I did this. Yes.
Yes.
We got something. And,
we got something.
You know what? We'll save it for that week, but it's gonna be pretty unhinged. It's gonna be pretty unhinged because if I get what I want on that episode, if I get what I want on that episode, and I'm talking about don't just tune in. It'll be what January 23rd, I believe, or the 24th, one or the other, which is crazy because I think I'm supposed to be at a bachelor party that weekend. But damn it, that episode can't wait.
Yes, no, it cannot. No, I cannot. And this is just one of very many. So if you watch WWT, just understand WWT Live is going to be shaping up for a lot of different stuff. And y'all are going to want to tune in Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Trust me, we got a lot of dope stuff coming for y'all on these lives, and it's just going to keep coming. So keep watching these, keep watching the watch-alongs, and always keep up with our news, following on all social medias, which is at WWT Talk. As well as on YouTube, as well as on Twitch. Subscribe to those channels so you always know when we're coming live. But before we get up out of here, I always want to make sure that y'all know where to support our panelists so that we can always keep coming up and doing this. So, Mayor, where can they follow and support you?
You can find me on these Twitter streets at CEDSAYS, at CEDD_SAYS, where you'll see all my Washington Commanders propaganda, all my Cade Cunningham propaganda, because my teams are up and you guys' teams are not up. You can also follow me on the gram at cedistheanswer. I'm going to try to get more creative this year. You know, I wasn't that creative last year. TK is already cracking the whip for more content and writing. So I'm going to give y'all some literature soon. I'm going to dust off my tag team partner, Jacob DeLawrence. Make sure you follow him _J Della. We're going to get him back into the fold to do some content as well. Check out his Anscape stuff. But we're going to give you something really special in 2025, starting with January 24th.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Believe me, y'all don't want to miss that episode. I promise you, you do not want to miss that episode. And especially if it goes all the way that the mayor wants, you do not want to miss this episode. I promise you. You can follow me at Will Pharaoh, that is PHARAOH, on everything across all social media, across YouTube's and Twitch. Maybe TikTok for the next 3 days before this thing gets shut down. Not sure. We don't know what the fuck's about to happen. Also on that Chinese app that is like TikTok, that's #1 now. I'm also on there. I don't know what the name of it is, but if y'all know it, you can go follow me on there as well.
Is it Red One?
Red One, yeah, that was the slide there. That was the name, Red One. Yeah, Red One. I downloaded that. I don't know if I should because I don't know what kind of data they got now, but I downloaded it. So, but also support the new IG handle for the Kayfabe podcast with, of course, myself, Dion, and Wrestling with Honey. We drop those every Saturday where we're talking about a little bit of trending news, but also a couple of dope wrestling segments that we come in, like Gimmick Swap. Last week we did What If Dean Malenko was the ringmaster with Ted DiBiase instead of Stone Cold Steve Austin, or Blind Rankings. And of course, Dion had to do blind ranking all of The Rock's personas. And you don't want to miss where I had White Boots Rocky Maivia and where he had to go on my list. So you don't want to miss stuff like that because that was very hard-hurting for me. So you don't want to miss stuff like that. We'll definitely have the mayor on there as well to go through all of that fun. Make sure you check out myself on Stride of a Comic Book and Arcade Tokens. Same thing across all socials and all YouTube and Twitch. We are always live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll be returning Thursday with TCW coming very soon. But we want to thank y'all for checking out the NXT post show. We will catch y'all Wednesday here on WWT, the #1 women's wrestling network on this motherfucking planet. Finally said that bitch right.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.